Steve Backman.
My name is Stephen Backman, 329 Burkhardt Court. I'm going to read this because I can't, memorize all of this. The clown show ends tonight. I'm assuming this council will approve agenda items 7 and 8, the 2 non-conforming homes built at 7713 Wilcox and 838 Circle. This is the crowning achievement to one man's incompetence that, if you don't approve them, will lead to lawsuits. In the private sector, Building Director Steve Glinke's screw-up would have likely got him fired, but here in Forest Park, it appears he'll stay on the job and be awarded the addition of a paid consultant to make sure he doesn't screw up again, all at taxpayers' expense. During the November 20th Planning and Zoning Commission hearing, Director Glinke discusses changes to the zoning laws that were at hand. I'm seriously afraid his target will be the 50-foot lot width minimum law that he sadly overlooked, leading to tonight's messes. That perfectly crafted zoning law, wisely created by his predecessors, provides a needed checkpoint to sensibly regulate what can and cannot be built on smaller lots, all in the best interests of the citizens of Forest Park, not builders, not developers. This is not some arcane or antiquated rule, but a needed law put on the books less than 15 years ago, specifically to avoid the 2 problem homes we have here tonight. Houses that are too big and too close to the neighbors next door. And now these grand monuments to incompetence are with us forever. I'm not convinced that we're out of the woods yet. I'm concerned there will be a Clown Show 2, the sequel. The property known as 836 Circle, the 25-foot wide lot just north of the illegal house at 838 Circle, has been publicly marketed for sale as a buildable lot. It is not a buildable lot. That said, a case can be made to build on it and presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission for variances away from the prevailing zoning requirements, but it must be a responsible plan and submitted before any construction begins. One might say, okay, what's the worry? Well, the owners of 836 Circle may also want to build a house that is too big.
Mr. Backman, you're going to need to wind it down. You've exceeded 3 minutes.
Thank you. Too big and too wide. And then point to the house next door and say, hey, they got to do it. I want what they got. Thank you. Oh, incidentally, the house on 838 Circle, we got 2.5-foot setbacks on the side, and ADA requires 36.
Thank you, Mr. Backman. Commissioners, next item is an ordinance approving authorized variations to allow construction of a single-family residence at 7713 Wilcox. Is there a motion?
Nero make that motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Nero. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxham. Discussion? Commissioner vote.
I just wanted to say that I am a little disappointed in the lack of oversight and that we find ourselves in this position, retroactively approving something. Mistakes happen, and I find the oversight for Wilcox somewhat plausible. And giving the benefit of the doubt, I have to agree with the ordinance that it's in the best interest of the village to approve this, but I hate to sound like a broken record, but I do hope that going forward, we'll make a better effort to provide consistent oversight. We need to be clear and fair in our enforcement, not just in building codes, but all of our local ordinances, and they exist for a reason. Every person that lives and works and does business in the village should expect to be treated equally and know that rules apply consistently across the board. That doesn't mean we need to be overly punitive, but there's plenty of space to be consistent and thorough and reasonable. And I hope as we're modernizing our code, we also identify things that aren't working so that we can change them, modernize them, so that we are not ignoring some things that we think are maybe obsolete. And we're actually doing our best to provide everyone with sensible, clear outlines, and that we're enforcing them consistently.
Thank you, Commissioner Vogt. Any other comments or?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, Commissioner Maxham.
Okay, so I know that I was at the PZC meeting, as was Commissioner Vogt and as was Commissioner Nero. And I also know, that Commissioner Vogt's husband recorded the meeting and put it up online, on the advocacy group so everyone can see it. So it's out there if anyone's interested in seeing the meeting. I agree that going forward, it's good that we make sure that things are being enforced uniformly. Unlike Commissioner Vogt, who says, I hope going forward this will happen, I think Director Glinke made it really clear at that PZC meeting that at least 3 of us were at, that something has been put in place now, so that it used to be just commercial projects that went through our consultants, but now residential of this nature will as well. So it sounds to me like it isn't just a, hope that this is going to change, but that the change has already been put in place. And I believe, I don't just hope, that going forward, mistakes like this won't happen again. And I think, we're here. And the best thing to do is to approve these retroactively and move forward and do better. So that's my 2 cents on this. Thank you.
Commissioner Nero.
It's a good 2 cents. Yes, sir. Well, I was going to say some of that, but hey, listen, we are human beings, and it is so frustrating to get in here at these council meetings, and it's like I hear a message or a voice from certain folks about it. People make mistakes, right? People make mistakes, and controls were put in place, publicly communicated those controls, and yet we want to drag the department out into the street and throw rocks at them. It's wrong. It's wrong. This is in the best interest of Forest Park. There's numerous 25-foot lots in Forest Park right now. And tell me a new home going up in Forest Park is not going to be better for your property value. A simple mistake, administrative mistake, ownership was taken, controls were put in place, and we move forward. We move forward as a village together. Not divided, not separated. We don't beat each other up. We recognize we made a mistake, controls put in place, and we move forward. To err is human. To take ownership of that, right? That's leadership. That's all there.
Thank you, Commissioner Nero. Any further comment, reaction? Okay, if not, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Maxham?
Aye.
Commissioner Nero?
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Rogovin?
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt?
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins?
Aye.
This is ordinance O-61-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, next item is an ordinance approving authorized variations to allow construction of a single-family residence at 838 Circle Avenue. Is there a motion?
Nero will make that motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Nero. Is there a second?
I will second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxham. Discussion? Commissioner Vogt.
We have another oversight, and I just wanted to clear something up. One question is, does the same person own 838 and 836? It does not.
Oh, yes, that is accurate.
The same person owns it. Because I have a few questions. For this one, it's a little bit different situation than Wilcox. Because though these are two 25 by 125 foot lots, they are next to each other, which would be a 50-foot lot owned by the same person, and it's been vacant for decades.
Greater than 10 years.
Yeah. Because part of my confusion there would be, as the code's written, this is 100% fits the bill. I mean, it's a 50-foot lot. So choosing to do two non-conforming lots, those should have pretty clearly gone to the planning and zoning to ask for the variance, which we didn't do, and we find ourselves here. But one thing that sticks out with this is our lack, I believe, because I haven't found it in our code, is for a stormwater ordinance or stormwater management ordinance. I think it's only for like larger projects or
Project's over half an acre.
which is concerning to me, just because it says it should not unduly increase the danger of flood or fire. And the addition of any non-pervious surface increases the amount of excess stormwater runoff. So it's one issue that I have with this, and I don't know why we weren't able to catch this, is the extensive lot coverage, taking a vacant lot from completely permeable to excessively non-pervious surface. So I guess I just wanted to make a point that I hope while we're updating the code, we're thinking about adding something for stormwater management, capture, mitigation. I have a couple examples from Chicago that I could send if you'd like to talk about them. But I just wanted to make that point. It's a little concerning. I know there's still one lot that's empty. I don't know what's happening with that. But just the level of lot coverage where we're going to now see an excessive amount of water running off into our sewer system is concerning.
Thank you, Commissioner Vogt. Any other comments?
Okay.
Commissioner Mellon Rogothan.
Just to add to the comments on both lots, I just want to say, having been to the training that was offered to the committee, Planning and Zoning Committee volunteers, the commission members, and myself, several people have mentioned the new process for reorganizing or looking at the new zoning process that we're in the process of updating our zoning codes. And I was very impressed with the thoroughness, and at least at this point, it's still in process, but I do think, at least from someone who's relatively new to the zoning code process, I think they're really going through it with a fine-tooth comb and understanding the environment that Forest Park is in, but asking all the right questions and looking at how our zoning code could meet our needs going forward and asking all the right questions. So, and I think Steve and Muse are working together to do that with the zoning, planning and zoning committee, and the folks they're working with are really not starting from the beginning, but really blowing it all out and saying, how can we make sure that we're covering all the bases, including some of the questions that we're raising today. So I was very impressed by that. I think it bears saying here.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller McGovern. Anything else? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you call the vote?
Commissioner Maxham.
Aye.
Commissioner Nero.
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven.
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Abstain.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance O-62-23.